we're gonna get started right now. So 2026, we're just a few days in, and for me, I'm a planner. I love to plan and organize and strategize and make sure things are going according to plan. And if they're not, regroup and come again. You understand? So for the past couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, I've literally been winging it and it felt uncomfortable. And so I decided that this year is going to be the year I get back into the groove of my planning. And in getting back into the groove of my planning, I'm taking you along with me. So I'm sharing everything I know. Well, not everything today, but everything I know about how I plan and how I put those plans into actions to see things fulfilled in my life. So I'm gonna start off by sharing with you what we're gonna be doing today. So pretty much I have my little book. If you have one, grab it too. You're gonna need something to write on and something to write with. And write, it could also be typing, okay? You can type on your phone or your computer or whatever, but just make sure that you are taking notes. And I want you to be deliberate about taking notes, because what's gonna happen is some of you are gonna watch this video, and if you're not engaged in what I'm doing right now, it is highly likely that you're probably not going to go back through this process again, because this process is very detailed and intricate, and it's going to take a lot of your mind and body energy. So I want you to participate, all right, as I am going through this, so you can get it over with one time and done. Oh, that sound good? All right, cool. All right, so the objective of today over the next few minutes is for us to really create at least 36 action items that you want to complete before the end of this year. So those 36 items sound like enough, true, but when we break it down, you're gonna see how we're going to end up with 36 action items. And this is how we're gonna do it, right? There are, generally speaking, 12 life domains. And everything you do in life, each aspect, each area of your life falls into one of those general 12 areas, right? And so if you check here, I hope you can see me have them listed out, everything from 1 to 12, right? So for each of those 12 domains, we're gonna highlight 3 elements out of the 12 domains, and we're gonna create at least one specific action or specific goal that you would love to get done by the end of this year. Following? Hope you're following. So the 12 domains, and we're gonna do three action items for each of the 12 domains, and that's how we get the 36 things that we need to complete before the end of this year. 12 by 3, basic mathematics. See? So for each of the 12 domains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these are the elements that we're going to be focusing on for the next 316 of these, right? What you want to be or become, I hope you can see it. Please tell me if you can't. What you want to be or become for this year, what you want to do or not do, the actions or non-actions that you want to take, and then what you want to have. So be, do, and have. And I want you to think of it this way, and I'll remind you of it as we go along. The be is going to be who you want to become, the person you want to be, the attributes you want to have, the kind of person that you want other people to look at you and say, this is her, this is him. See? The do is the actions you are going to take in order to become the person you want to be. See? Cool? And then the have is essentially like the result of those actions. So I want to become a lawyer. Just for argument's sake, I want to become a lawyer. What do I need to do in order to become a lawyer? And then what am I going to have after I have completed all the steps into becoming a lawyer? I have my own law degree, my law firm, whatever, become an associate, whatever it is, right? So that's just an example. And then once we go through those 12 domains and the 3 elements of the 12 domains, I want you to really focus on your next steps. What are we, and I say we because me and I too, what are we going to do in order to ensure that we're keeping ourselves accountable to the goals that we are about to set? So we're not just gonna set the goals today and do so, lock it and put it down. No, right? We're gonna set it and then we're gonna be working on it consistently over the next 52 weeks to ensure that everything that is written down right now is accomplished. Now, like I said, you're gonna need something to write on: phone, tablet, laptop, whatever, book, paper. You're gonna need something to write with, and I need your 157.8% participation. All right? And participation doesn't necessarily mean you have to type in the chat. I would love if you type in the chat so I can know what's going on in your head while we're going through. But participation means that you are doing the activity with me as we are going along. Mine do already, you know. I've done. Let me see if you can see. Mine have been done. I completed mine. So mine, I'm going to share examples from mine so you can use it as a framework for yours. Pretty much. All right, so let's jump into the 12 domains. We're going to go through them one at a time. Zine? So the first domain that we're looking at is the career. And I bought these markers yesterday just for this particular thing. And them don't like, they're very pale. I can hardly see them. I don't like them. Anyway, so the first one is your career. How career spell again? Career. Good? So the first one is your career. Real teacher skills coming out right now. And that's basically meaningful work that you get paid to do. Simple, right? So when you think of your career, you're going to figure out, who do I want to be in my career? What do I want to do in order to become that? And what am I going to eventually have at the end of completing all of these? So, giving you an example of what I have written down for my career, I want to become a paid speaker again. And I say again because I have been a paid speaker and I've pretty much been on break from the stage for 3 whole years. I think it's been 3 or 3.5, somewhere there. It's been 3 years. Let's round it up, right? So I want to become a paid speaker again. So that's my B. And this is how I have them. Just so you can... Accident. Anyway, this is how I have it right here. So this is my career. B, I have my B right here. Paid speaker. My do, what I'm going to do in order to accomplish that. And then I have my have, what I'm going to become as a result. So I want you to essentially fill it out. Write at least one item for each of the elements. 1B, mine is to become a paid speaker. 1 do, and my do is to complete my book. I've been writing a book like 2 years now. Yeah. For those of you who know, you know. I've been writing a book for like 2 years now. So I want to finish that because that is going to help me to get on stage. And then the have for that aspect of the career is have speaking offers come to me rather than me having to send out speaking proposals. Hey, so by the end of the years, I must stop look work. Work must be looking me. So that's the goal. All right, so right here's where I fix about this thing. All right, so let's get the next one. If you haven't already, please grab somebody until you're live because this is good. If you're watching the replay, do the same. All right, so the next domain that we're going to be looking at is intellectual. INTELL. I have to remind myself how things spell. No, sorry. blue one. Okay, here we go. Intellectual. And this is essentially using your knowledge to influence your outcomes. So all of the action steps that you're about to write down for each of the domains, you're gonna need some intellectual development to go along with it. For example, one of my B, remember the B do and have? My B, what I want to become as an intellectual individual, I want to become fluent in conversational Spanish. Good? So that's my B. My do, what am I going to do in order to become fluent in conversational Spanish? I'm going to be having, well, we are having, we started today, Spanish Sundays. So essentially, as a family, each of us have chosen a second language and we're going to be practicing that. Coincidentally, we all decided to do Spanish. My son wants to do German, my daughter wants to do Mandarin. We all let them. But the majority of us wanted to do Spanish, 3 out of the 4, out of the 5 I should say. And so we started with Spanish first. So every Sunday, we are going to be engaging with each other as a family in Spanish. So we started out today by learning a few basic things. My daughter decided that she wanted to learn colors. My son is doing Spanish in school already. I have a basic Spanish knowledge from high school. And so we've been sharing along those lines today. And we improve on that every single Sunday moving forward. So that by the end of the year, oh, on top of that, I have a Spanish book that I bought online. It's an audio book, but it's a book nonetheless. With teaching you conversational Spanish the non-traditional way. So it's not like how you learn it in school, and I've been listening to that and catching on quite a bit using that method. So that's one of the things I'm going to do in order to become fluent in conversational Spanish. And at the end of that, here's what I want to have. This is going to give me increased content to deliver to you, because as a teacher by blood, those who know me know I'm a teacher by blood. It runs in my veins. I like to teach what I learn. So in learning, in the process of learning this whole new language thing, I'll be sharing a lot of that process. I might not share it all with you on the internet, but share it with people I know and so on. So that's the B, do and have for intellectual for me. What is it that you want to become? What is it that you have to do in order to become, and what is it that you want to have at the end of becoming? You understand? I hope you're getting be, do, and have for your intellectual life. Are you writing this stuff down? You're writing it down? I hope you are. The next thing is your health. I noticed I didn't say health and fitness, because when you say health nowadays, a lot of people want to think that you're talking about weightlifting and gym. That's not, that's not all of it. So the same procedure, it's like it's rinse and repeat. For each domain, we're doing the exact same thing. And mind you, you don't have to just write one goal for each domain. I'm just giving you one example for each of mine. You can have 10 goals if you want, as long as you are confident that you're going to be able to accomplish all 10 of them by the end of the year. That's all. Okay, so health for me refers to taking optimum care of my body. And that includes fitness, that includes what I eat, that includes my mind, that includes just everything. Hygiene, all of those things, right? So here's an example for mine. I want to become the fittest I've ever been in all my life. Notice I didn't say slim, I said fit. Because I've been slim before. I've been at 120, 130 as an adult. And I wasn't fit. So my goal this year is to become the fittest I've ever been. I want to be fit and strong, right? So that's my B. What do you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. Can you see this? Wait. Put it over some more. Okay, so this is B, this is do, and this is that. I think it got erased when the board fell. Like, huh? No YouTube. That don't make no sense. Alright, so I'm just fixing these. So in terms of my fitness level, I want to become the fittest I've ever been in all my life. What am I going to do to achieve that? One, my girlfriends know that we've been struggling with eating for the longest while, but I still got my goals, right? The goal is to not consume any added sugar, added flour, or fried foods. And I've been not drop again, please, I beg you. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna have to fix this next time, okay? We'll work on that. So yeah, no added sugar, flour, or fried foods, and also ensuring that I exercise more. And I'm very specific about the exercise thing. 4 times per week, get more sleep, so on and so forth. I have a long list on the things I want to do, but you make your own list, okay? At the end of this all, I want to have my dream body. Curves and all. I already have curves here, and this curve needs to go. I don't like this curve, okay? But the other curves are fine. So that's my B, fittest I've ever been in my life. My do is to exercise 4 times per week, get more sleep, hike 4 times for the year, and my have is to have my dream body. All right, next one, emotional. And we can, since you get in the hang of this, I think we can move through them a lot faster now. You get in the gist of the thing, right? All right, so emotional. And that's number 4. So we're pretty much soon finished. How are you guys? Are you guys tracking? Y'all tracking? Let me know. Type in the chat and let me know. Yes, no. I need help. Explain this more. I need to see something going up in the chat so I know you're with me. That's all. We're rich. Emotional. Number 4. All right. I define emotional as awareness and control of your emotions and your emotional responses. And I'm terrible at that. I'm a very moody person. My mother knows me, my husband knows me. Yeah, I can be very moody. I'm an introvert, and so all of that comes out in my emotional well-being, right? So what do I want to be in that area of my life? I want to be able to control my emotional responses a lot more, because I know I have an issue in that area. What am I gonna do in order to do that? I am going to focus on, scrap that. I'm going to focus on being more organized, right? Because here's the thing about me. I do not like chaos. I do not function well in chaos. When things are around me are not in place and out of order, I have to fix them in order to be productive. That's just how I am. So I focus more on organizing my space, increasing my alone time because that's important for me. Gardening, I love that. Going to the beach a lot more. Doing more recreational stuff, leisurely things, and so on. When I have the space to be myself and just be with my own self and reflect and all the things, it helps me to regulate more emotionally. And so that's one of the things I'm going to focus on more for this year. And then I do not want to have any regrets regarding my emotional responses, right? I want to have the confidence to speak up for what I do and do not want. That's me. Because sometimes I hold it in. I ain't lying. Sometimes I hold it in and I don't let it out. And so that's something I have to work on for this year. All right, next one, spiritual. I see a comment pop in. Let me see. Leecroft Edwards says, I'm just listening and learning. That's awesome, Leecroft. I need to listen, learn, and act too. But hi, that's my friend. That's my friend, my good friend. All right, spiritual. We reached number 5 already. Spiritual. All right, spiritual. I refer to that as the depth of your relationship with God. Zin? Oh, as I said that, I was planning on praying before we start and I'll forget. We'll pray at the end. Please, if I forget, remind me. Yeah, so spiritual. You know what? Let us pause for a prayer right now. Father, I thank you for taking us this far into this live. I thank you for the inspiration that you've given me in order to share with your people how to be productive in this life. I pray, God, that they will not just watch, but they will watch and do. And I pray that your Holy Spirit will speak to them and terrorize. No, terrorize is not the word, but will speak to them and nudge them every single time they want to slack off. That let me put myself in it, we want to slack off. I pray that your will be done in the midst of all of our plans, and we commit them to you. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Let's jump back into spiritual, right? So, what do I, or who do I want to become in my spiritual life? I want to become a Christian role model for my kids. That's my top priority, my kids. And then for anybody else who is around me, I want people to look at me and say, I want to be like Julia in Christ. No. Let me rephrase that because I think that one just came out wrong. First of all, be like Jesus in Christ. Be like Jesus in Christ. That don't sound right either. Be like Jesus, full stop. But look at me as like an earthly, presently role model. You understand? That's where I want to be. I want to be 100% confident of my place in heaven. 157.8% confident of my place in heaven. Because sometimes I see, and I'm like, am I going to make it for real? Yeah. So I want to be at that place where I'm sure 100% of the time. So that's my become. What do I want to do? Daily devotionals, because sometimes I don't do it. I want to finish reading the entire Bible. I've done that. I've started so many times. I've read different chapters many times, but I've never actually sat down and taken the entire Bible from beginning to end. So that's something that I'm focusing on for this year, among other things, right? I have a whole list here. What do I want to have? A deeper relationship with God. That's my have. Be, do, and have. All right, 6, love relationships. So this is the next 3 are focused on relationships. In. So this is the love one. Oh dear, that handwriting just went downhill. Never mind, I can write better than that. So for love relationships, I think I'm in the way. For love relationships, it's basically referring to the meaningful, intimate, and lasting connection you have with your partner, right? And my B for that is to become a more loving wife. Full stop. What am I going to do in order to ensure that that happens? One of the things that we had planned on doing a long time ago, but we kind of started and we kind of on and off with it, is to have annual couples vacation. I think the last time we had one was, I can't remember. So that's something that I'd love to restart. And let me say this, when it comes down to the love relationship aspect, you have to be on the same page with your spouse. You have to. If one is at east and one is at west, it now gonna work. Zin? So that's something that is gonna be the focus for this year. And what do I want to have in my marital, my love relationship? Have a fulfilling marital life. So what do I want to be or become? What am I gonna do in order to become this? And what do I want to have at the end of all my doings? All right, the next relationship is your social relationships. School is over, you can see it. So social is your social relationships. And for some reason, my handwriting is getting worse and worse the further down we go. Social relationships are the meaningful connections you have between individuals, um, that you have recurring interactions with. Like my little friend here, Lee Croft Edwards, is one of my day ones, I should say, in terms of my social relationships. And I want to be a more dependable friend, pretty much, for this year. So that's my B, who I want to become more dependable in my social circles. What am I going to do in order to make that happen? Spend more recreational time with my dear friends as well as my growth friends. Let me differentiate between the two. Your dear friends are the friends that you love gone to death. Like you grew up together, you know that bond is always there. You're 5,000 miles away, but you're still connected somehow, right? Those are my dear friends. Then there are the growth friends, which your dear friends can be your growth friends, but this not necessarily are the same people. But the growth friends are those people who are intentionally helping you to grow and you are doing the same for them. So how they influence you to become a better person, you are doing that intentionally for each other. So I have my dear friends and my growth friends, and my goal is to spend more recreational time with them. So that's my do. What do I want to have at the end of that? I want to have trusting and dependable friendship circles. Over the years, a lot of friends have fallen along the wayside. I mean, I met a friend of mine who I have not connected with in decades, probably, over the holidays. And when they saw me, they spotted me and they were like, huh? And we screamed and we hugged each other. Like, it was just a warm reunion. And I'm just happy that that happened, because it put me on the track of rebuilding that friendship with that person. That person like was so dear to me in college, and we kind of just fell off. And seeing them over the holiday was just an amazing experience. So that's it for the social relationships. The last relationship one is your family relationship. Let us try work on this penmanship. Family relationship. Alright, so the last relationship domain is your family relationship. This for me is kind of tricky because I've been very intentional over the years to make things happen, and it's hard, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so the B for this one is for my personal family. Here's where it has been tricky for me is over the years I've focused a lot on my first family, the family that I was born into. And if your family is anything like mine, you know say that there are some people that just cannot agree. You cannot get along with them, right? And I've made so many attempts to be nice. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna love y'all from afar and move on with my life and be happy. So for my first family, the family that I was born into, I am sticking with the core group. That those core ones I'm tight with. We stick with them and we let the others be. So my focus for this year is for the family that I've created. Right? So the 5 of us here in this household is to create a Christ-like replica in the family. Like, build this family according to biblical principles, not necessarily what the world is dictating or what social is dictating or what school is telling, but according to the principles of the Bible. So that's who I want to become in this family. What am I going to do? We'll have weekly family nights that will include games, movies, planning sessions like this, and emotional sharing, so that we're all on the same page of growth as a family. And then what do I want to have for this family is to have peaceful, productive home and a house that I love. So that's it. That's it for family relationships. We're at 9 already. Can you believe it? 9 may or may not be for you. If it isn't, then you can skip that for now. Okay? So 9 is parenting, and it somewhat ties into family relationships, but there's a reason I separate it, because I honestly believe it is its own thing. And as a parent, family refers to the unit, but parent refers to how you interact with your children, or the children you are blessed with to rear from childhood into adulthood. And so, who do I want to be? A role model, especially, and I say especially, for my daughter, because I only have one daughter. I have 2 sons, 1 daughter. And I realized that she does look up to me a lot. She emulates me a lot. And I don't want to spoil that. I don't want to influence that negatively. So I'm really poised to make sure that I'm intentional about how I influence her and how she looks up to me as a mother. All the negative traits that I have, that I took on from my aunties and my mother and generations beyond me, there are some personality traits and character traits that I have been trying to get rid of, just because I don't want her to copy and paste them into her life. And so that's the kind of person I want to become for her. What am I going to do? Wrong one. Skip. Where am I? Okay. My page. Okay, here's my page. Okay, so what am I gonna do in order to become that person? I'm gonna involve her more in my personal lifestyle. So as much as she knows me, but I want her to know me deeper and to understand me from a Christ-like perspective, and understand that what she sees in me is not necessarily what she can become. She can develop her own self through Christ, and she can take the best of me and copy that, the worst parts, So planning on just connecting with her a lot more, and I have a list of things of how I'm going to do that. But so that's the do. Do and have well-rounded kids prepared for life. That's what I want to have at the end of this year. I want to see them improve, generally improve on their journey to become great citizens of this world. All right, number 10. You tracking with me? Or are we going so far? Let me know in the chat. Number 10 is your character. And that is CHRARACTER. That is basically how you demonstrate your morality and what you believe in. Like, do people know what you believe in based on how you act, based on your standards? Do they really know? Or do they have to guess? Or are they surprised when you show them who you are? That's something to think about, right? So, who do I want to become in this domain of my life? I want to become a model for my kids. And if you notice the past few domains, I've really been focusing on being that person for them. Because if I am not that person, if my husband is not that person, then I don't want anybody else to influence them majorly in becoming the future generation. I want it to be me. So I want my character to be of such that my kids will look at me and be proud. And when they go out, people will look at them and be proud of me. Right? So I want to be that model. What am I going to do in order to make that happen? Implement biblical principles in how they develop their character. I mean, we do this. We do Bible verses with them that talks about courage and all kinds of different topics. So, like, emphasize that a lot more. And what I want to have, influence and profess. And this is big for me, because here's the thing. What a lot of people don't understand is that your character can open up opportunities for you without even having a resume or having to send out a proposal. And I want to be at that level where that happens for me. And in terms of the speaking engagements that I talked about at here, my career domain, that's going to be one of the things that is going to catapult me into that space as well. So I want to become a model for my kids. I want to implement biblical principles to help them grow. And I want to have influence and preferences just because of my character. Let my character speak for me and open doors. So that's character. Domain number 11. This is a fun one. This is one I love the most. Yeah, this is really the one I love the most. RECREATION. Recreation. Fun. You know what I mean? Me love to have fun. If you know me, I love to laugh. So I want to be fulfilled. Recreationally. Like, I just want to look at life and I'm like, it was fun. That's pretty much it, how I want to look at 2026. What am I going to do in order to make that happen? One of the things I have on my list is to travel the world one country at a time. So I already have the list that I want to travel to for this year. It's 4, not far, 4. Right now it's below degrees cold. And as a Jamaican girl, I don't know how I'm going to manage. But I think by the time I'm ready to go there, it's not going to be as cold. It's rainy during the summer, so that's something else. Yeah, so I'm planning one every year. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all 190 enough. I won't, because that would take me 190 enough years. I might need to plan more than one per year. Let's see. I don't have the money yet, but we're doing one this year. So that's what I'm gonna do in order to become more fulfilled. And what I want to have is amazing, memorable experiences. I want to look back at the pictures and say, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my be, do, and have for recreation. And the final domain that we're going to look at, and you probably guessed it, is money. So it's the financial. Right? And the main reason I left this one for last is it's gonna support majority of the others. The majority of the others, you're gonna need some money in order to support majority of these. So you have to ensure that you have this one be really specific about the goals that you set in your financial domain, because it's going to help you go a far way in accomplishing all of the others. So here's an example from my financial domain. I want to be, I want to do, and I want to have. Here's what I want to be. I want to become, excuse my burp, I want to become financially independent. Right? That's what I want to become. I'm not there yet, but I will be. What am I going to do in order to accomplish that? I am going to offer value in exchange for money. What is that value? That value could be a good, that value could be a service. That value is, for me, is going to be a good in the form of the book that I am writing. So when I finish writing the book, remember I talked about the book in my career domain? Yeah. So that book is going to bring money in, and I'm going to be providing value through the contents of that book. And there are a couple of other things I have listed here as well. And the have for my financial life is I want to have enough money to fund my recreation. So you see all them trips that I've been talking about, all those beach trips and spa dates and whatnot, I need to have enough to support those for myself. Everything else the husband will take care of, but I want to be able to fund all of those recreational things that I have on my list. Now I've shared with you a snippet of my goals. So at this point, you should have at least 36 items on your list. For each of the 12 domain, you should have one thing that you want to be. You should have one thing that you want to do. And you should have one thing that you are going to have. So the 12 multiply by those 3 should give you your 36 items for this year. Now, how are you going to ensure that those items are implemented and they don't fall by the wayside at the end of today or whenever you finish writing that list? You have to keep yourself accountable. This is my accountability. Every week, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to show you something. I have this document that I used to use back in the day. It used to be life and business planner, but I'm just focusing on the life aspect of it. And so my goal is to tweak this document, take out all of the business aspects because business is a whole different ball game, and edit this sheet in order to use it as a guide for my goals, my minimum 36 goals that I have written down. So every week I'm going to be sitting down with a paper like this. You can use your book, you can use a folder leaf, it does not matter. And you're going to check in with yourself every week and ensure that you're doing all the things in order to make those goals a reality, and so that at the end of 2026 you can celebrate. Zimmy? So every week I'm going to be checking in. I'm going to be checking in here, and I want you to check in with me. I want you to log in same time every Sunday, same place, and we're going to check in together. And every week we're going to be going through those goals, breaking them down at a more meticulous level, and ensuring that we're doing the things, connecting with the people, finding the resources, and the strategies and the activities that we need to accomplish, the resources that we need to ensure that those goals are coming to fruition, the people that we need to connect with, the places that we need to go, the phone calls we need to make. All of that is in here, and I'm going to be sharing that with you on a weekly basis. So when you leave here right now, you don't just leave here with your list of 36 items. You're leaving here with an overview and the specific action steps that you're going to take is going to show up in your weekly commitment. So I want you to commit right now to yourself that you're going to show up every single week and you're going to go through this list that you just created, and you're going to ensure that you're going to pick 1, you pick 2, you pick 3, any amount you like, and you're going to focus on that for the coming week. My focus for this week specifically is health, right? And I shared with you what my health goals are. So a lot of the things that I have on that list for my health goals, I'm going to be breaking them down and ensuring that I have all the resources that I need. I am making the phone calls to the right people, and I have every single steps outlined that I need to take when I need to take them, and I'm going to take those steps in order to ensure that at the end of the week I can just put a tick on that box to say, yes, I did this. And if I have enough boxes at the end of 2026, we can have a little party and say, yes, we did it. You understand? So that's it for today. I want you to join me next week, same time, same place, right here, 4 p.m. on this YouTube channel, where we do a check-in. I will make sure we're keeping each other accountable and we're keeping each other on track. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you want to just drop a heart, drop a like, drop something. It would be good as well if you subscribe, because then you will be and turn on the notification so you can get that. So if you even forget one week that, hey, I don't even remember my 4 o'clock appointment today, the app will remind you so that you need to log on. Alright, so did you enjoy today's session? Was it productive? Was it fruitful? Final thing I'm going to ask you to do, especially if you're watching the replay, in the comment section, you're going to just write down one of your goals. Any one of them that you want to share with us. What is your goal for whichever domain it is, whether it's the be, the do, or the have. Put it down in the comments and share with the community, inspire somebody who is watching later on. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much, Lee Croft, for checking in the chat, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place.